always making the most of waste. In order to let Pakistanis eat clean and hygienic pancakes, this simple and small iron pan production company actually used waste container iron sheets to make affordable and durable pancake pans. At present, these container iron sheets that were new before they were saved are the raw materials for making iron pans. First, the workers need to use the original rules to carefully mark the iron sheets. The age of the iron sheet is probably from the last century. Next, it is necessary to use hydraulic shears to cut the iron sheet. The workers will use hydraulic shears to cut the iron sheet into small pieces and then cut off the excess part of the iron sheet along the outer edge of the marking line. However, the roundness of the iron sheet treated in this way is far from meeting the requirements. So the workers will then find the center point in the middle of the iron sheet, based on their experience, punch out a mark on the center point with a punch, and use a small hammer to cut the iron sheet. The uneven parts of the iron sheet are knocked flat, and then the iron sheet can be fixed to the circular shearing machine. In this way, the excess part of the circular plate can be quickly cut off by the shearing wheel, thereby making a relatively standard round iron sheet material. Since these iron sheets come from waste containers, there is a lot of paint and dirt on their surface. So the workers will knock the iron sheet so that the dirt on the surface of the iron sheet can fall off quickly. The next work is people will put the iron sheet into the hydraulic press and use the concave and convex molds on the hydraulic press to press the iron sheet into the shape of an iron pot. In order to speed up the production efficiency of the iron pot, they usually put in multiple pieces of iron sheets at a time for processing. At this time, looking closely at the worker's appearance, it is estimated that he is less than 18 years old. Obviously, he is still a little bit struggling when facing this job at a young age, but he looks very experienced when operating the machine skillfully. This is the mini Pakistani. This process requires hands and feet to rotate the position of the iron sheet with force little by little. However, the depth of the iron sheet shaped in this way is still not enough, so it needs to be placed in another hydraulic concentrated and deeper shaping mold to shape the iron sheet to ensure that the arc and shape of the iron sheet can meet the manufacturing requirements. After the iron sheet is completely shaped into the shape of the iron pot, the worker will also use a sledgehammer to knock on the edge of the iron pot till the hardness inside the iron pot is released. Since this young man is very hardworking, he has to endure endless hardships here. After wearing a simple pair of goggles, he can put the iron pot on the grinder for grinding. This process can quickly remove the rust and dirt on the surface of the iron pot. At the same time, the powder produced by grinding will also be inhaled by the young man. He only needs to work for 2.5 years, and his life will be reduced in an instant. He can directly save decades of playing. Since the rust on the iron sheet is quite, the surface of the iron pan, after severe polishing, is still relatively rough. So in order to make the iron pan more beautiful and durable, the workers will then apply this black coating on the surface of the iron pan. The appearance of this coating is almost the same as waste oil, but it may be an anti-stick coating. Is there any old iron rod? What is this coating? But after the coating, the iron pan instantly looks high-end. Next, the iron pan needs to be fixed. After the iron pan is placed on the suspended press, a lathe is used to carve patterns on its surface to make it more beautiful. Then anchors are used to fix the finished pan on the pan. Here, this affordable and durable iron pan with a spread handle is ready. So what do you think of the iron pan made in this way?